I lived in Lisbon as a 22-year-old digital nomad for 1.5 months. No tourist traps, no checklists, just life. Because most digital nomad guides, they don't show you what life in a place actually looks like. They show you cool cafes and castles, but not what the routines and the cost of living or what life in a place actually looks like. Not the real experience. This isn't a highlight reel. This is what Lisbon actually feels like when it becomes your temporary home. I walk you through the cost of living, the daily life, and why Lisbon stands out based on every other nomad spot that I visited yet. The first time I came to Lisbon, I did the usual. Belém, viewpoints, Capa de Roca, Cascais, the full tourist trap travelers checklist. But this time, I was just living it with the friends I have in Lisbon, doing the things I actually love. Surfing at Costa de Caparica's, working from besides beach cafes or co-workings like Tribe, visiting Sintra with friends that I've met through previous trips, and watching the sunset almost every day at Miradoro Santa Catarina, going to meetups to network and connect with like-minded people. It wasn't about ticking boxes. It was about enjoying a place I love. The kind of enjoyment you only get when you stay just a little longer. Lisbon is not perfect, but that's what makes it kind of perfect. It's messy, it's colorful, and full of hills that destroy your calves. But the quality of life there, it's good. You walk more, you eat slower, you talk to strangers. It's got this creative, slightly chaotic energy, and somehow it feels a bit like home. And I can't explain that fully, to be honest. But I get why so many people return back to Lisbon. Now, let's talk about the actual cost of living there. I was lucky. I stayed with a friend I met last time I was in Lisbon. So I paid 700 euros a month for a room. But in general, expect to pay anywhere from 800 to 1400 euros a month for your roof above your head, depending on where you live, of course. Food? Well, eating out will run you between 15 and 30 euros a meal, depending on the vibe, location, and the type of food that you eat. I mostly eat out like 2 to 3 times a week. I cook the rest. So if you want to cook for groceries, it would take me roughly like 50 to 70 euros a week, but I eat a lot. If you eat less, your groceries will probably be less as well. So in total, food will cost around 520 euros a month. Gym was a 30 euros a month membership. I went to Viva Gym and they're all over Lisbon. Super flexible and easy to cancel. Last time I paid like 60 euros somewhere, so you have to search around a bit. A co-working will cost between 120 euros till 250. It really depends on where you're going. I mostly go to Tribe if I go to a co-working. They have one at Costa de Caparica, so you can work at the beach, or they have one right in the heart, the center of Lisbon. And then you've got all the extras. Tickets, Ubers, car rentals, Bolts, whatever. It would cost roughly between like 80 or 100 euros a month. So for me, it came down at roughly 1800 euros a month. But if you're newer to Lisbon or want a bit more comfort, expect it to be 2000 euros a month and 2500 euros a month. And especially if you're co-working and living alone. So what did life actually look like? My routine is quite simple, and honestly, that's also what makes it good. I wake up, I eat my yogurt, drink my coffee, and then straight to my deep work. No fluff, no morning routines, checklists, just action. In the afternoon, I mostly hit the gym. Then after that, back to work a bit. And roughly around 9, in this case it was 9 in the time in the place that I was in Lisbon, I went out to Santa Catarina to watch the sunset. Sometimes alone, sometimes with friends, but always worth it. Evenings were either a meetup, a dinner with friends, or just getting back to home to work some more. And the weekends, that's what I always use for side trips, like going to Sintra with friends or to the beach in Caparica to surf. It wasn't vacation, it was just life, only then in Lisbon. So why Lisbon? Out of all places I lived as a nomad, Lisbon just hits different. And I can't fully explain why, but it really feels like home. Maybe it's because my first nomad trip was to Lisbon, but in the end, that does not really matter. I mean, the sun is always out and the quality of life feels high. There's nature close by in Sintra, and there's the beach at Caparica, all in a 30-minute range. Well, there's always something happening in Lisbon itself. I was there in June, so there was Santos. It's like then the whole city is a party. But beyond that, I think out of all the nomad places that I've been through, Lisbon has the strongest community. There's always a community event going on. There's always a meetup somewhere. So it's a good place if you're a founder building something or a startup. I even met most of my friends and contacts out of this trip during the Founders Run Club. Shout out to them though. So if you're looking for a weird mix between creativity, inspiration, cool city with some hills, nice views, Lisbon got it. So yeah, that was 1.5 months in Lisbon as a 22-year-old digital nomad. Would I come back? Absolutely. Maybe it will even become my base if I'm done traveling, but I'm by far there not. And if you're thinking about coming to Lisbon, I hope this video gave you some honest perspective of what it actually looks and feels like, and not just the Instagram highlights. And if this was valuable, don't forget to subscribe, because there's 2 really big events coming up. One is B2C Prague, and one is the Nomad World Fest in Bansko, where I'm actually at right now. And I can tell you, both of those events are packed with lessons from really interesting people. And I can't wait to introduce you to those lessons and experiences. Until then, visionaries, keep on building, keep on grinding, and most of all, take action. Ciao.